didn't end there. Take us to 1992.
Well, then came this war in the Karabakh, when the Armenian forces start coming and fighting, getting help from the Russian army, getting help from other countries, and moving in. They have, in one point, surrounded a village was called Khojali, and they massacred almost everybody there. And I was the only one finally arriving here and witnessing of all those people that were massacred, and few survivors gathering there outside in the city of Agdam, outside the Khojali, and looking for their beloved people.
It was February 1992, the seventh image we're showing here. It's the father, tears in his eyes.
The father that looking for his son, and the only thing that he has to show and going around, this was really for me as a photographer, was so heartbreaking. He was holding in his hand.
That next image, a tiny, that's all he had of his son.
This was the only thing was remaining, holding the pictures of his son and going around and crying and showing to the people with no words. And obviously his son is gone. He was killed in this Khojali massacres by Armenian forces.
Well, you had a lot of people. The next picture shows an old woman who's obviously in distress. What's her story?
The old woman was there.
And we're talking about Nagorno-Karabakh.
Exactly.
We're talking about the conflict there.
The Nagorno-Karabakh was first invaded by and then came like more than 20% of the Azerbaijani land taken over by the Russian and Armenian troops. The woman came for 3 days looking for her husband and her son. And finally, when the Red Cross, when they were bringing the bodies, she found them, and she came to me and crying and shouting, saying that I find them, but their eyes were taken out, they were tortured. This was the history of this massacre of the Khojali, untold story actually.
And the next image shows not even children were spared.
Even the children, they were killed in all this Khojali massacres. And this is one of the main things that remain with me as a photojournalist, trying to explain to the world that there are untold massacres, that sometimes we have to come up and we have to make it clear about what's happening.
And you also have to be there for the victims, for the survivors that are here. The next image shows a couple of boys, and it would appear to be they're having a good time.
Well, the kids are the kids everywhere, even the refugees. You know, there was almost 1 million Azerbaijani became displaced or refugees over this war. When the
500,000 came to Baku alone.
500,000 here, and then 500,000 all around Azerbaijan, and there were nothings here. They were living.
Well, they had to live off the land. They had to live off the Caspian Sea, even the most polluted waters. The next image shows them fishing for something to eat.
Exactly, for eating for the refugees, or they were taking over every little places that was left here. Even in the trains that were the trains, they were living inside the old trains.
Okay, let's quickly go through some of these other images. A couple of images of a school. First, we see the school that you found.
Yes, I photographed for National Geographic story. There was this Khan Mehmed, a teacher, the refugee, that he put up these chairs. And
but you came back the next year, and I want to show there's a white building in this image, and that's the school that Reza built.
Yes, yeah, obviously, what you can do when you see all these people this way. I returned back with the help of my sister, Paricha, and we built this school for those children. That there were many of them now, they are universities. I have seen many of them in universities. I have them, even one of them is an anchor in a TV here. One of the girl that was in this school here.
What a story that is. But we move on. We're looking, now we go to the 1990s, and Baku has changed.